we reach this topic on infant baptism. It is something that we practice, not just us. Now, please turn to page 133 in your old books, or page 111 in your new books. All right, page 111 in your new books. Infant baptism, often a very controversial topic. I also have people writing to me asking about this topic, not understanding it, not sure what to think. And I just received another one yesterday, from someone who follows some of the teachings on our YouTube. So I think it's God's timing, and as God's people, we have to understand very clearly. Study this lesson in this way. If someone were to walk up to you, come and visit our church today, and ask you, why does your church practice infant baptism? How would you answer? Or if they say, infant baptism is unbiblical, it is something that is done by the Roman Catholics, we should not do it, what would you say? If they say infant baptism is wrong because only believers, babies, you do not know whether they believe or not, how can you baptize them? It is unbiblical practice. How would you answer them? Can you answer them? It is not a practice that is only in Bible-Presbyterian. It's a practice among Presbyterians, a practice among the Methodists, the Anglicans, right? So it is not something that we practice only, this church practices only. So, number one, we want to understand, is it biblical? Is it biblical? Number two, what's the difference between infant baptism and adult baptism? Is there a difference? Number three, to answer those questions that I started with, right? So, I hope that you understand, because some of these people who write to me, they say, I want to leave the Presbyterian beliefs. We also have known Christians who, when they grew up, along the way, they say, really, I think I'll leave the church, this church, or Presbyterian churches, because I don't agree with infant baptism. They are doing something unbiblical. It can happen to you. I want to say that again, it can happen to you. Because along the way, you are going to read articles. And when you read these articles, or you may even listen to messages. And the more you listen, the more you think, yeah, it makes sense. I think we are wrong. Then your faith will waver. What is BBK for? Basic Bible knowledge. It is to build the very basic stuff in your heart. And with that knowledge, you will not be easily swayed. You have to know. I feel that today, if you were to walk up to many Christians who practice infant baptism, even parents that brought their children for infant baptism, or even you who were infant baptized, if asked, actually I think many of us cannot answer. So it is not that basic after all. Right? So I hope we understand this. So number one, is it biblical? Is it in the Bible? Or is it something introduced by the Roman Catholics? We have to understand that. Now, first of all, to understand infant baptism, we have to understand one very basic thing. In fact, I was from a Baptist background, I told you. I was from a Baptist background. In fact, someone who recently wrote, say, I think I'm going to the Baptist church because some of these practices are just not biblical. Now, from a Baptist background, I could not understand infant baptism. And worst of all, I was a Roman Catholic before that. So infant baptism is all alarm bells to me. It is Roman Catholic practice. So Presbyterians are bad people. How can they do that? Right? And the difference between the dispensational faith That is what the Baptists predominantly believe in.